Hear me through the dark, hear me through the root, hear me through the water under stone. She raised no sword, she wore no crown, yet all the dark bent softly down. For there are voices born of war, and voices older hidden more. She sang not loud, but deep and clear, a sound the dead themselves might hear. Not for battle, not for fame, but for the ones who guard the name. The tree stood close in breathless ring to hear the hidden priestess sing, and every branch and every vein held still beneath her patient strain. Not by iron, not by flame, by the voice that wakes the name. She who sings to the forest gods, calls through shadow, root and fog, with the voice of light and morning air. She wakes the old ones sleeping there. She who sings to the forest gods turns stone to echo, night to bond, and through the leaves, through moss, through flame, the old world answers once again. Trunks, through earth, through bark, like silver thread through sacred dark. No choir led, no horn replied, only the breathing woods outside. Yet underneath that quiet prayer moved ancient force through root and air. The raven turned above the shrine, the altar answered line by line, and all the hidden rune sheets stirred now trembled softly at each word. If you remain, then hear me now. If you still breathe in root and bough, if you still walk where no eye see, come through the dark and speak through me. She who sings to the forest gods, calls through shadow, root and fog, with a voice of light and morning air. She wakes the old ones sleeping there. She who sings to the forest gods turns stone to echo, night to bond, and through the leaves, through moss, through flame, the old world answers once again. The trees remember, the stones replied, the temple was no longer empty. Stone remember first breath touched the air, the forest held its hidden flame, and every stone concealed a name. No bird would sing, no leaf would fall. The light stood still beyond the wall of branches, old as grief and bone, that guarded what had once been known. The circle lay in sacred rain, a ring of runes, of moss, of stain, and in its heart the earth was warm, as if it held an ancient storm. Come, old voices, rise, old fire, wake beneath the root and briar. Circle of runes, awaken slow, speak through stone and soil below. Call the names the dark still keeps, call the power that never sleeps. Circle of runes, breathe again through forest root and whispered rain, in the temple of the hidden flame. The old gods answer when called by name. When called by name. She stepped between the standing stones, barely flesh and barely bone. Her breath like mist, her gaze like night, her skin marked faint with sacred light. She touched the ring, she touched the ground, and all the silence changed its sound. The wind grew low, the trees leaned near, as if the dark itself could hear. The runes began to glow beneath the silver hush of held back breath, and in the moss, in root, in clay, the sleeping old world stirred away. I call what lingers, I wake what sleeps, I name what silence always keeps. Circle of runes, awaken slow, speak through stone and soil below. Call the names the dark still keeps, call the power that never sleeps. Circle of runes, burn and shine, open the path through root and time, in the temple of the hidden flame. The old gods answer when called by name. Sacred circle. No blade was raised within this place, no shadow crossed the priestess' face. Only her breath that drummed the ground, and one clear thread of living sound. She walked the circle stone by stone, blessing what had long been known. Not with conquest, not with fear, but with the voice the gods could hear. The wind moved gently through the leaves, the altar shone beneath the trees, and even time seemed slow and mild inside that sacred woodland wild. Her hand moved over rune and moss, not asking power, not counting loss. She named no enemy, broke no seal. She came to listen, not to wield. The low drum answered step by step, a pulse the waiting earth still kept. And underneath her measured tone, the old ring hummed in wood and stone. The choir breathed like hidden rain, a soft returning once again. And in the center of the shrine, the circle gathered breath and time. Prayer over roots, prayer over flame, prayer over silence, prayer over name. Prayer over the sacred circle, slow as root and soft as rain. Call the old gods with clear breathing, let the earth remember again. Prayer over the sacred circle, stone and silence, light and tree. In the heart of hidden woodland, ancient peace is still alive in me. I call with breath, not sword. I call with light, not war. Circle, keep us, stone, receive us. Old gods, hear us, do not leave us. Prayer over the sacred circle, slow as root and soft as rain. Call the old gods with clear breathing, let the earth remember again. Prayer over the sacred circle, stone and silence, light and tree. In the heart of hidden woodland, ancient peace is still alive in me. The runes grew warm beneath her hand, as if they understood her chant. The light bent low across the ring, as if the grove itself would sing. No thunder broke, no terror came, no war horn cried a battle name. Yet in the hush a deeper might moved through the trunks and into light. Her voice rose higher, pure and long, less like command and more like song. A tone that floated clear and wide, then circled back through bark and sky. The circle shone, the prayer moved on. The forest held cold hush through branch and fern, a softer light the stones could learn. The forest opened slow and wide, with ancient stillness at its side. No storm was near, no ash remained, only the air after sacred rain. The runes no longer burned in fear, but glowed as if the gods were near. Not as thunder, not as war, but as a voice from long before. The circle stood in moss and dew, its hidden light now breaking through. The altar breathed with ember gold, as if the earth itself were old. Beyond all kings, beyond all scars, beyond the grief of falling stars, the priestess stepped with open hand, barely touching root and land. Her silence held a deeper tone than sword or crown or carven stone. Drum in the earth, light in the air, the old gods listen, the old gods are there. Light on the stones, rest in the air, old gods listening everywhere. Through moss and root, through leaf and tree, the hidden world breathes quietly. Light on the stones, calm and slow, wake the seed beneath the glow. In the sacred forest deep, the old gods watch, the old gods keep. The low drums move like patient heart, not to divide but to restart. The ancient bond of name and place, of breath and soil, of time and grace. The choir rose low behind her tone, like mist that moved through wood and stone. And over all her voice would rise, a silver line through waking sky. No grief was left within that sound, only the blessing of the ground, only the sense that what was old could still be living, still be whole. Sacred forest deep, the old gods watch, the old gods keep. The drums grew soft, the light remained, and the stones remembered. cloud crossed the air, and oh, the light lay soft and clear. The forest held the final word, not spoken loud but deeply heard. It lived in moss and branch and stream, in half-seen light, in hidden gleam, and in that stillness she could feel that what is sacred does not kneel. The gods were not in thunder now, but in the root and in the bough, not far away, not high above, but near in memory, breath and grove. The birds still cross the shaft of light, the temple hovered out of sight. The standing stones no longer burned, they simply watched and softly learned. No conquest marked the ground she crossed, no sign of fury, grief or loss, only the echo of her tone still moved through bark and hidden stone. The drums were low as distant rain, a pulse that would not fade again. The choir rose like mist at dawn and drifted slow and carried on. The name remains, the sound remains, the old way lives in root and rain. The forest keeps the name alive in stone, in leaf, in hidden light. The old gods breathe where roots go deep, and in that silence still they keep. The forest keeps the name alive, beyond the fear, beyond the night. And all who walk the sacred way will hear that song and choose to stay. She left no flame, she left no scar, no mark of pride, no sign of war. Only the song, the circle's glow, and the old path under, lone below. The stream moved on with silver breath, untouched by triumph, loss or death. Yet all around the greenwood shrine, the world seemed held outside of time. Her final note rose long and clear, and every branch bent close to hear. Then slowly all the grove grew still, as if the woods had heard their will. Keep the name, keep the flame, keep the song, keep the same. In the stone, in the tree, in the root, in the memory, nothing sacred disappears, it only goes deeper. The name answer now, answer. fire, answer from the old unknown. The last note trembled in the leaves, and something moved beneath the trees. Not beast, not man, not wind, not rain, but something old returned again. The altar burned without a spark, a gold pulse breathing through the dark. The standing stones released their glow and lit the roots that coiled below. No fear remained in that sealed place, only awe before the hidden face of powers older than the throne, of kings who died and turned to bone. The prayer was heard, the path was shown, the temple woke, the gods had known. When the hidden temple answered, night itself became a door. Stone and flame and forest silence spoke of what had been before. When the hidden temple answered, runes burned bright through root and rain, and the priestess knew the old gods walked the sacred earth again. The raven cried once through the light, then vanished into deeper night. The air grew thick with ancient breath, not of sorrow, not of death, but of the force that waits unseen between the worlds beneath the green. The altar circle turned like time, the runes aligned in silent rhyme, and all the forest dark and wide seemed to open from inside. Not all is gone, not all has died. What was forgotten still survives. In root, in rune, in breath, in flame, the hidden temple speaks its name. When the hidden temple answered, night itself became a door. Stone and flame and forest silence spoke of what had been before. When the hidden temple answered, runes burned bright through root and rain, and the priestess knew the old gods walked the sacred earth again. The temple woke, the prayer remained, and the forest kept the secret. I'll follow. and pain. No star looked down, no moon gave grace, only the dark around that place. The circle stood in silent fire, a buried ring of oath and pyre. And in its heart, where old runes lay, the earth still held what would not fade. The priestess came with ash on skin, with shadow woven into him. Her hands were cold, her gaze was flame, and every breath became a name. She touched the stone, she touched the scar, she called to what had fallen far. And all the forest bent to hear the sound that woke the hidden fear. The runes were sleeping, the blood was near. The old gods waited beneath the fear. When the runes drank blood, the night grew wide. The roots awoke beneath the shrine. The stones began to breathe in flame, and all the dark replied in name. When the runes drank blood, the earth turned slow. The hidden fire began to glow, and through the ash, through bone, through rain, the old world stirred and rose again. The frame drum struck like buried hearts, a pulse too old to come apart. The low choir moved like winter smoke, a weight that neither bent nor broke. A voice rose long above the ground, not loud but deeper than all sound. A silver thread through bark and stone, a grief that never stood alone. She spoke of kings beneath the moss, of nameless dead and ancient loss, of battlefields the roots had sealed, of oaths that never truly healed. And as she sang, the runes burned red as if they fed on all the dead. Each mark of stone, each carved line now glowed as if with wrath divine. The blood remembers, the stone remembers, the earth remembers all. The raven cried above the ring, the altar answered like a king. No mercy lived within that tone, only command in flesh and bone. The priestess bowed, but not in fear, for what had come was fully near. The old gods were not far away, they moved inside the drums she played. The forest floor beneath her feet began to shake in solemn beat, not as thunder, not as war, but as the breath of what came before. And all who stood within that would never say the night was good, for something dark and vast had turned, and through the rooms the old gods burned. When the runes drank blood, the night grew wide. The roots awoke beneath the shrine. The stones began to breathe in flame, and all the dark replied in name. When the runes drank blood, the earth turned slow. The hidden fire began to glow, and through the ash, rage and pain. No star looked down, no moon gave grace, only the dark around that place. The circle stood in silent fire, a buried ring of oath and pyre. And in its heart, where old wounds lay, the earth still held what would not fade. The priestess came with ash on skin, with shadow woven into him. Her hands were cold, her gaze was flame, and every breath became a name. She touched the stone, she touched the scar, she called to what had fallen far. And all the forest bent to hear the sound that woke the hidden fear. The runes were sleeping, the blood was near, the old gods waited beneath the fear. Beneath the black roots of the trees, far under moss and memory, there stood an altar carved in age, a hidden wound, a buried stage. No sun had warmed that sacred stone, no hand had touched it for too long. The forest sealed it in its breath, half in silence, half in death. But still the runes beneath the grind held shape against the fall of time. Still there remained a waiting spark inside the oldest part of dark. The priestess came with lowered flame, not to beg and not to blame, but to reopen what had slept in root and stone. The forest kept below the branch, below the bone, below all kings. The altar shone, the altar beneath the black roots calls through buried fire and fallen halls. It speaks in drums, in ash, in flame. It knows the dead by hidden name. The altar beneath the black roots waits, older than thrones and older than fate. And those who kneel before its stone will never leave the dark alone. She laid her hand upon its face, and all the grove forgot its place. The air grew thick, the leaves stood still, as if the earth obeyed her will. The tagal harper dragged its cry like grief pulled slowly through the sky. The choir breathed under her tone, a sound like roots through ancient bone. She named the lost, she named the slain, she named the ones denied by fame. She named the ships that never came back through the storm to hearth or flame. And with each name the altar stirred, as if each rune had heard the word. A dim red fire climbed every seam, like waking blood beneath a dream. gods had returned at last. The altar beneath the black roots calls through buried fire and fallen halls. It speaks in drums, in ash, in flame. It knows the dead by hidden name. The altar beneath the black roots waits, older than thrones and older than fate. And those who kneel before its stone will never leave the dark alone. Small, but it burned black-red, like something fed by more than wood. The priestess stood before its light, as if she spoke where worlds once stood. The runes were open, the drums were wide. The grove had drawn the dark inside. No path remained to turn away. The old gods would be named that day. She raised no blade, she wore no crown, yet all the shadows gathered around. The flame bent low, the smoke climbed high. The raven turned against the sky. And when she breathed, the choir beneath moved like a storm through hidden leaves. The whole black temple seemed to lean toward what no mortal eye had seen. Through fire, through ash, through blood remembered, through names that last. She called the old gods through the flame, and every stone replied in name. The forest shook, the embers rose, the hidden dark no longer closed. She called the old gods through the flame, with drums below and sky made grave. And all who heard that sacred cry would carry it until they died. Her voice was clear, but not with peace. It rose like something that would not cease. A blade of light, through smoke and root, too long for fear, too pure for mute. The frame drums thundered slow and deep. The choir moved like buried sleep. The bass rolled low beneath the ground. A second earth, a deeper sound. She called on awe, then called on tear, on those still listening through the years. She named the old and nameless powers that live in stone and dead black flowers. And in between her phrases long, the choir answered with its song. Cometh go forn, hateth bane, a prayer in ash and smoke and pain. Who then hide inside the dark. The fire rose high, the altar glowed, the hidden roots beneath it showed. The standing stones lit one by one, not with the light of day or sun, but with the glow of something vast that had returned out of the past. The priestess sang without a break, one note so fierce the grove would shake. And in that cry the old gods came, not as bodies but as flame, not in flesh and not in word, but in the answer that was heard through every root and every scar. The old gods were never far. Oh, the old gods through the flame, and every stone replied in name. The forest shook, the embers rose, the hidden dark no longer closed. She called the old gods through the flame, with drums below and sky made grave. And all who heard that sacred cry would carry it until they died. Oh, then climbed the stone, it touched the wall. It breathed through ash, through root, through rain, as if the old world woke again. The priestess stood within its glow, her face half gold, half night below. The grove was still, the drums were deep, and not a single leaf would speak. The runes were bright beneath the smoke. The altar burned, the dark had opened, and in that hour, in that flame, the hidden fire began to name. Not kings alone, not gods alone, but every lost and buried bone, every vow the earth had kept, every soul the forest held in sleep. The fire remember, the roots remember, the old gods hear, the old gods enter. When the fire spoke their names aloud, the forest bowed, the night grew loud. Through stone and ash, through drum and flame, the old gods answered name by name. When the fire spoke their names aloud, the hidden temple broke the shroud, and all who stood within that ring heard the dark begin to sing. The low drums rolled like buried hearts, a pulse too old to fall apart. The choir moved like winter tide, a black wave turning from inside. Her voice rose high above the glow, long and clear, fierce and slow. Not as mercy, not The names are heard, the grove remembers every word. The standing stones were bright as scars, like fallen embers, frozen stars. The black roots curled beneath the shrine, as if they felt the ancient sign. The priestess did not turn away, she stood and let the long notes stay suspended over drum and choir. A bridge of breath across the fire, and from the flame, without a face, without a body, shape or place, there came the force she'd called from stone. The old gods were no longer gone, not flesh, not shadow, not full form, but presence vast as night and storm.